Good day, grade 11, and welcome to our virtual tourism classroom. My name is Penny Vosloo. I'm a tourism teacher in the Nelson Mandela Bay district, and I am presenting these lessons on behalf of Erica Ferreira, who is the subject advisor for tourism in the Nelson Mandela Bay district, Zone 1, as well as the Eastern Cape Department of Education, the E-Teaching and Learning Directorate. I would just like to indicate to you exactly what we will be doing in today's lesson, and you will see the extract from your curriculum has come up on the screen now. Today's lesson is the first in a series of 2 lessons based on foreign exchange. And the extract from the curriculum that you see on your screen gives you an idea of what we will be doing in today's lesson. We'll be studying various concepts around currency, local currency, foreign currency, as well as foreign exchange, exchange rate, and fluctuations. We'll also be looking at major currencies of the world, their currency codes and symbols. We'll spend some time looking at facilities where foreign currency can be exchanged. And thereafter, we'll look at how money that is spent by inbound international tourists is of benefit to the local people. In our next lesson, we will be going down to the nitty-gritty of calculations. We'll learn how to interpret a currency rate sheet, and then we will be doing currency conversions. So if we start with our concepts today, before I even start looking at various concepts, I just want to make sure that we all are aware of the fact that South Africa uses the rand as currency, and that when traveling internationally, one cannot use the rand as a form of payment. Therefore, you have to exchange your rand for the currency of the country that you will be visiting, so that you can use that currency as a form of payment while you are in that country. Then, if we take a look at the various concepts, the first one is the term currency. And currency is money in the form of paper or coins, which is used as a medium of exchange for goods and services. And if you have a look at the screen, you will see that there is South African currency in the form of paper and coins that is used as a medium of exchange, in other words, a payment form for goods, and the goods in this case, a loaf of bread and a nice piece of steak, and services are the airline tickets on the right-hand side of your screen. Then if we look at the term local currency, that is the currency of a particular country where a transaction is being carried out. Now, in our case, the rand is our local currency, but the rand is not the local currency in the US or in Australia. They have a different local currency. And that is where the term foreign currency also comes into play. And foreign currency is a currency or currencies that do not belong to our own country. So in our case, our local currency would be the rand, but the euro or the US dollar or the British pound would be an example of foreign currency. On the other hand, if you are living in the USA, your local currency would be US dollar, your foreign currency would then be the rand or the euro or the British pound. So it depends on the perspective where you are living, which term you use. Then if we look at the following concept, and that is the concept of foreign exchange, which is the practice of converting one currency into another currency. Now, as I mentioned earlier, before you travel to another country, you have to remember that you cannot use your rand there. So you would have to exchange your rand for the currency of the country that you are visiting. So you would therefore do a foreign exchange transaction. In this case, if you look at what is on your screen, you will exchange rand for US dollar because you would be visiting the United States of America. Another concept that you need to understand is that of the rate of exchange. Now, the definition of the rate of exchange is the value of one country's currency in relation to another currency. And this rate of exchange that we refer to will determine how much foreign currency you will receive when you exchange your money. Now pay attention to the two examples that are given on your screen at the moment. On the left-hand side, you will see that on the 16th of April this year, one United States dollar was equal to 18.59 South African rand. So if you were going to be traveling to the USA, it would cost you 18 rand and 59 cents to buy $1. The second example on your screen is that of the euro, and also given on the 16th of April this year. 1 euro equals 20.24 South African rand. So in order to go and buy 1 euro, it would cost you 20 rand and 24 cents. And that is referred to as the rate of exchange. Continue grade 11, you'll see the next slide is based on the concept of fluctuation. Now, the meaning of fluctuation is given on the top of your screen. I will read it with you. Changes in currency value in relation to another currency. And if you take a look at the rest of the information given on your screen, you will see that on the 16th of April, a euro would cost you 20 rand and 15 cents to buy. And that, as I said to you, was on the 16th of April. But I just would like to draw your attention to the right-hand side of your screen, where you have a graph that indicates the exchange rate of the rand and the euro. You will see that at the very end of your graph, that is on the 15th of April, the exchange rate there was 20 rand and 36 cents. So if you just compare Wednesday the 15th of April 2020, where the exchange rate was 20 rand and 36 cents, and on the 16th of April this year, the exchange rate was 20 rand and 15 cents. So you will see that the value of the exchange rate fluctuates on a daily basis. Now we're going to take a look at the major currencies of the world, their currency codes and symbols. Just a bit of background information before we look at specific currencies. Foreign currencies are displayed by a 3-letter code. Now if you look at that 3-letter code, the first 2 letters refer to the name of the country. The third letter refers to the currency. If I could just draw your attention to the right-hand side top of your screen, you will see in the blue and green blocks that are there, NZ stands for New Zealand, and the currency name in that particular case is the dollar. So there would be referring to the New Zealand dollar. And at the same time, you will also see that most currencies have a symbol to indicate the currency, and that is given on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. There you have the symbols for the dollar and the euro, the yen, and the British pound. Now we're going to take a look at specific currencies, and on each screen you will see we have an image of the banknote as well as a map with the currency code and the symbol. Now, grade 11s, this is just for interest's sake. It is not necessary to know what each currency looks like, but it is something that is just interesting to have a look at, and also to know the location of the country that uses the particular currency that we are referring to. So the first currency we will take a look at is the United States dollar. And on the left-hand side of your screen, you will see there is $1 note, an image of that. The currency code is given on the top, USD, the US standing for United States, and the D standing for dollar. And then on the extreme right-hand side, you have the symbol. The dollar sign is the last one, that S with a line through it. And in that case, the currency that is being referred to is the United States dollar. Now, I just want you also to take note that more than one country in the world makes use of the dollar. We have a New Zealand dollar, an Australian dollar, Canada uses a dollar, and the United States of America, amongst others. So when you are doing calculations, it is necessary that you are specific, that you indicate which dollar we are referring to. The following currency is the euro. The currency code EUR, and the symbol is on the extreme right-hand side. Take a look at the banknote itself. There you will see there is the outline of a map of Europe, hence the name Euro. But I would like you to draw your attention to the map on the right-hand side of your screen. The countries that are highlighted in white are the countries that use the euro. You will see Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, Slovenia, Austria, Germany, Netherlands, and so on and so on. I'm not going to name all of them, but know that there are 19 countries in Europe that use the euro. And also, please take note, not all countries in Europe use the euro. You must be careful when you are answering exam papers or exam questions in this regard. You will get a question that refers to the country, for example, France, Germany, or Spain, and be asked to determine what the currency conversion is. You are not going to be told that that country is located in Europe. So this is where your tourism geography comes in, that it is very important that you know the names of the countries in Europe, but also which countries use the euro. And you will also see that this comes up in grade 12. You will also be required to do calculations, so I'm just giving you a heads up. It's not the last time that you will have this. The following currency is the British pound, also known as the Great British Pound. or the pound sterling. The currency code GBP, and the symbol is on the right hand side. Take a look at the image of the banknote. You will see there's Queen Elizabeth II, the Bank of England, and that is £10 that you see in front of you there. Now the pound is used by the countries that make up the United Kingdom. That is Northern Ireland. Please take note, not the Republic of Ireland. On your right hand side of your screen you will see there's the Republic of Ireland, but the pinkish color on the top of that island is the Northern Ireland. So please take note, Northern Ireland uses the pound, as well as England, Scotland and Wales, and collectively those countries make up the United Kingdom. So just a heads up, if you are given a question in an exam paper that says that somebody is traveling to London, then you should know that London is in England, which is part of the United Kingdom. So just remember that when you are doing your calculations, please. Then we have the Japanese yen on your screen at the moment. The currency code JPY, and the symbol looks like a Y with two little lines, horizontal lines through it, and that is used throughout the country of Japan. The next currency we are looking at is the Australian dollar. Remember what I said to you earlier, there's more than one country that use the dollar, and Australia is one of them, but they use the Australian dollar. Their code is AUD, and there your symbol is AU plus the dollar sign. Now if I take you back to the slide that was based on the US dollar, you'll remember that the symbol said US with that dollar sign. You will see that the Australian dollar is used throughout Australia on the right hand side of your slide that you have in front of you, and then there is a lovely image of what the Australian dollar actually looks like. And then of course we have our South African Rand with the currency code ZAR and the symbol R, which is used right throughout South Africa. The next aspect that we will be taking a look at, grade 11, is facilities where foreign currency can be exchanged. Now, the first stop when wanting to exchange foreign currency is at a commercial bank. Just so that you are aware, a commercial bank is a bank that has the facility to exchange foreign currency. You have a number of logos of commercial banks on your screen: ABSA, Nedbank, Standard Bank, First National Bank and Bidvest. The next place that you could consider exchanging your currency is at a foreign exchange dealer, otherwise known as a bureau de change. These are found in inner cities, in shopping malls. You will find them, and those are places that you can also consider to go and exchange your currency, as well as a foreign exchange kiosk at an airport. There you will see the Bidvest Bank and the Travelex foreign exchange kiosks at airports. Now, just another heads up for you, grade 11. Remember, it is better when you are traveling to exchange your foreign currency before you leave the country. If you consider going to exchange your currency at a foreign exchange kiosk at an airport, you might be met with commission rates that are rather high. So it is far better to shop around before you are due to depart. Visit a few commercial banks and inquire as to their exchange rate, but also their commission rate, because each bank that does a foreign exchange transaction will charge you a certain percentage commission. So it's far better to shop around beforehand and not just walk into the first bank and want to exchange your money there. Another option when it comes to foreign exchange is to exchange at a major hotel and a cruise ship. Now just note here, this is generally only for guests that are staying at the hotel or people that are passengers on the cruise ship. Again, your rate of commission here is going to be extremely high. So it's better to exchange your currency before you are leaving. Then we take a look at how money spent by inbound international tourists benefits the local people. And we are specifically having a look here at the term, the multiplier effect. Now there you have a definition on your screen. I'll read it together with you. The multiplier effect is when money spent by tourists filters down through the economy, benefiting employees and other businesses. So let's just break it down quickly. Money, which is spent by tourists, filtering through the economy, and at the end of the day, employees and other businesses benefit from the initial spend of the tourist. Best way to explain it to you is by means of a graphic that you see on the left-hand side of your screen. There you have a tourist coming to South Africa on your left-hand side, and that tourist will spend money when he is traveling. In this specific case, you will see he is spending money at an accommodation establishment. So that money that is spent by the tourist goes into the local economy and is spent by local businesses to purchase goods and pay employees. Now let me draw your attention to the image on the left-hand side of your screen. The arrows that go upwards show to the man with the box of goods. So the business is then going to use the money that comes in from the tourist to purchase goods and also to pay the employees of the business. And the employees of the business are on the bottom. You have a chef, you have a maintenance manager, you have a manager or a receptionist, any number of different staff members that work for the accommodation establishment. And what happens is the money is then respent. The money that gets paid to purchase goods and to pay employees gets respent within the local economy, and that is what ends up creating the multiplier effect. So for example, the chef would consider taking his children to the movies because he has a little bit of extra money. The manager could perhaps consider taking his family on a holiday. And so that is an example of the multiplier effect, how the money filters down through the economy. Here's another lovely graphic image that will help us to understand the multiplier effect. We have a tourist that is spending money, and in this case specifically at a restaurant, and that is, the restaurant is then benefiting from the direct effect of the money received. If you look at the various aspects or the regions where the restaurant will benefit, you will see that the owner has an income and also is probably going to make a profit. Your staff are going to be paid salaries and wages. Your suppliers will receive payments for goods supplied. And some of that money that the tourist spends is also going to be used for marketing on various platforms. Now, those are all examples of the direct effect. And I'd like us just to take one of those so that we can have a look at the indirect effect of that spend from the tourist. And let's take a look at the suppliers. Because the supplier has received money from the restaurant, you will see the indirect effect of that is the supplier now is in a position to put fuel into the vehicle or do vehicle maintenance or pay the wholesaler for whatever goods or services that he or she has obtained from the supplier, which is all an example of the indirect effect of the multiplier effect. Right, grade 11, we will take a look at some activities now in order to make sure that you understand this concept fully, or these various concepts fully. The activities that we will be taking a look at come from grade 11 provincial question papers and are a great indicator of the type of question that you will be getting that is based on foreign exchange. The first extract is from the November 2016 Eastern Cape examination paper and comes from the short questions, section A in your exam paper. The instruction is choose a word from the list that matches the descriptions below. Right? Only the words next to the question number in the answer book. You may only use the listed words once. So you are now required to go to the numbers 1.4.1 down to 1.4.5, read through each statement, and decide which statement matches the various words given in the text box at the top of your screen. So I'm first going to read through the statements and then we're going to see if we can find the concept that matches with that statement from the text box. 1.4.1, exchange rates that change according to the supply of the local currency and tourist demand for the currency. Exchange rates that change according to the supply of the local currency and the tourist demand for the currency. And I would say that the focus in that statement is going to be on the word change. Exchange rates that change. So there I'm giving you a clue. Let's continue with the second one, 1.4.2. Money spent by visitors to an area is later spent in the local economy, and I'll give you another clue, grade 11. That is the concept that we've just finished up with just before we went on to the activities, and you should see the name in the text box above. 1.4.3 is the value of a currency in relation to other currencies, and take a few seconds just to have a look and see if you can find the word or the words from the list that matches that particular statement. 1.4.4, the act of exchanging currency of one country for its equivalent value in another foreign currency. Again, go back to the words given above and see which one matches. And lastly, 1.4.5, notes and coins used as a medium of exchange in a particular country. And if you take a look at the words given or the concepts given above, you should be able to identify which concept or which word matches that statement. So I trust that at this stage you have selected your answers, because I'm going to give them to you on the screen and I want you to see if you were correct. 1.4.1, exchange rates that change according to the supply of the local currency and the tourist demand for the currency. The term we are looking for there is fluctuations. 1.4.2, money spent by visitors to an area is later spent in the local economy. That is known as the multiplier effect. 1.4.3, the value of a currency in relation to other currencies, and that is referred to as the exchange rate. 1.4.4, the act of exchanging currency of one country for its equivalent value in another foreign currency. And that answer that is on the screen now, foreign exchange, is the correct answer. And the last one from this example, notes and coins used as a medium of exchange in a particular country is referred to as currency. I hope you got 5 out of 5 for that question. Our next example comes from November 2015 Eastern Cape question paper. It says, read the scenario below and answer the questions. Miss Jones is planning an overseas holiday to Italy and England. She has never travelled internationally before and is unsure of how to go about exchanging her South African rand for the currencies that she will need. The first question, identify 2 foreign exchange facilities where Ms. Jones can exchange her local currency for foreign currency before her departure. Now, we did those in detail during this lesson, so you should be able to answer immediately and say that she can exchange her currency at a foreign exchange bureau, otherwise known as a bureau de change, or at a commercial bank, or at the foreign exchange bureau or kiosk at the airport. The second question here is, Ms. Jones is unsure of the concept of an exchange rate, and you are required to explain the concept to her. That you should be able to do without a hesitation. An exchange rate is the value of a currency in relation to other currencies. The value of one currency in relation to other currencies. Or you can put it in a different way. The exchange rate is the rate at which one currency is exchanged for another. Last question for today's lesson. Discuss one way in which the money that Ms. Jones will be spending in a village in Italy will be of benefit to the local population. Discuss one way in which the money that Ms. Jones will be spending in a village in Italy will be of benefit to the local population. And I hope that you have realized, grade 11, that we are now referring to the multiplier effect. And there you have the correct answer on your screen at the moment. A community can earn an income from tourism by selling products and services to tourists. Jobs, be they direct employment or indirect employment, are then created, which will in turn set the multiplier effect into motion. Okay, grade 11, that brings us to the end of today's lesson on foreign exchange. As I said right at the beginning of this lesson, it's the first one in this series, and the following one will be based on foreign exchange calculations, and I do hope you will join us for that lesson.